insta-lock whatever agent you're trying to play. You know, if people are gonna be mad about an insta-lock, well, to be honest, they can suck it. Yeah, so play whatever agent you want. If you want, I think Chamber on Icebox isn't a bad pick. Maybe Chamber is not the agent that you like. Like maybe it's just like not your type cup of tea. But Chamber is a pretty solid agent on Icebox. And then you said Split was a Sage, and then I was looking through some of your stuff for Sage, and I don't think you were like your like KD or anything is particularly bad on it. Yeah, it's like one of your. Okay, well I'm starting to see a little bit. All right, so we have like a 0.81 KD for Sage on Split, and Sage is a pretty big component from a lot of Sage for a lot of defense on the map. So if anything, we're gonna kind of take a look and see if there's some sort of reason, if there is, if we get Split. Your Yoru's on Bind is pretty solid. So on Breach, do you only play him on Haven? Oh no, it was Ascent. It was Ascent.
I played Cypher on it.
Okay, so for Breach, it was, let's see,
Fracture and Ascent for Breach.
Any specific reason you will do it on Ascent?
I started that last act because I was trying to figure out who to use.
I
felt like I was having more success when I started using Breach.
Okay. I'm just curious. Not that I think there's anything wrong with the comp. To be honest, like Breach is a very strong agent. If you know how to play him, he's going to be really solid. I just was curious because most of the time I see like a KO, sometimes maybe a Sky, but Breach is usually not picked on Ascent. And it's not like there's any really specific reason. I'm like thinking over like matches and games I had, or like the map overall. It's not bad on Ascent. It's just not like the insta pick. So if you have a comfort pick, I do recommend that you do it, and it does look like you're doing pretty solid. But currently, I think, yeah, your best KD is actually on Cypher. So your Cypher on Haven is like owning. You got your best KD. You have 100% win percentage. But what do you play Viper on?
Like if I fill Breeze, I'll play Viper.
Okay. All right. So I think the five agents that we see the most are probably what: Breach, Sage, Yoru, Chamber, Cypher.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, dokie. All right, so I like to look at theirs. They have Viper for smokes, Jet, Fade, Chamber, and also another Breach. You guys have a Reyna instead of a Fade, and Killjoy instead of a Chamber. Okay, so these are like just things I like to take notice of. Let's see.
Yo. On site. At least 2.
To the scam. He's still on it. Nice. Okay, nice. So the only thing there I would say is that make sure you probably want to aftershock right after you stun, because you're probably aiming for that cubby, right? The cubby B main. So in the case that you stun, if you aftershock right after, they have to kind of back off because they can't really run through that. But I think because you decided to flash, the thing is flashes sometimes don't have a guarantee to stop. Like you would like the only time like you hard shut down a push is they're like all blind, but if not, then they're probably just gonna run up. I think if yeah, I think I would just recommend aftershocking there. And then I think you're getting ready to swing, but you bought so much utility, make sure that you can use it.
Okay. I'm gonna go back B. They're coming B arcade. One's up by tower. I still have util for retake. Oh,
Damn, okay, Cypher.
A lot of noise B main.
Ooh, nice
In
try,
tower.
nice try, nice try. Ooh.
Yep. I'm gonna flash there. Two satellite. 80 on breach.
Damn, that's just one of the moments where your spray doesn't go right. I was like seeing it. I feel like it kicked up a little bit more than usual there, but it's all good.
Did I not fully stop for long enough? Maybe.
I think so. I think you like probably were still mid step for like the first like couple bullets, and then because you're off for the first few, like the spray just kind of gets really wonky after that. I think right now wins this. Oh, never mind. It's pushed up canteen. I'm pretty sure it's canteen in sight. Nice try. Yeah, you were kind of forced to take the fight there. I think, yeah, the spray was just a little wonky there. Otherwise, you probably get that kill 9 times out of 10. Do you know how to do the... Make sure you have a classic with the shorty.
Oh,
Yeah, just...
some arcade.
Oh, that's so unlucky. 132.
132 chamber.
Cypher. Cypher, you just let him die. Oh my god, he got 2. What? There's no way he hit the... What was that? Oh my god, what was the run and gun classic? Oh my god.
The run and gun classic.
Oh my god, it's the best gun in the game. Alright, so currently right now, so we were on an eco, there's an unlucky kill, but we gotta start stepping it up. This probably is one round. Be careful, they have breach ult here, so either you gotta find a way to survive while you're through the breach ult, or you kind of want to pay attention to that. Maybe get ready to aftershock while they're running up if they're coming B, but if they're not, then okay. Oh.
They're up B main. Just one.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh my god, Viper. Yeah, so every beginning of every round, always pay attention to the ults they have so you are aware of what's going on. So here they have a breach ult and then the Viper ult. Those are usually the 2 ones that you really want to focus around. Yeah, Chamber could have an op, but I think you were always worried that they could have an op. So yeah, you want to make sure you play accordingly.
Oh,
And I'll kind of explain that a little bit more later.
B main.
Oh, breach is dead now.
I have retake for A. I can ult it. I'm waiting for you.
Top side.
Up top, up top.
Oh. Nice. Oh, damn. You actually did see him because of where the prowler came from. It came from the top and then kind of like zoomed down. It was kind of hard to notice, especially if you're in the moment. So don't beat yourself up over that. But just yeah, if you think about it, think of the trails that Fade gives as like a two-way street. If they can see where you are, you can also follow the trails back.
Okay.
Yeah, so that way, like, you kind of saw it was like somewhere in the Viper roll, but then like, to be honest, you wouldn't have spanned the proper place anyway because he was on top. But yeah, you could see the prowler come from the top though. So when you have worse guns here, I want you to start like get ready to peek into them rather than just always playing defensive here. It's probably gonna be breach ult here. It's already up. Oh.
Up tower.
Oh, nice try.
130 fade. 40 on chamber.
This is winnable. KJ ult here. Oh, oh, it's winnable. Last guy's low.
1 HP.
Is no. Oh no! Oh no! Oh yikes! Nice try, nice try. I actually think that you win that if you don't commit so much to spraying through the cage. You did do a lot of damage to the Viper, but I don't think you knew that until yeah, so there I think what, because I understand that you probably didn't know the cage was there when you were swinging, but once you realize that, I think you just go back, like you just run and gun back. Just make sure you don't die and you just spam a few bullets if you get lucky. But yeah, because you committed, you lost so much HP. I think you actually win against a Fade if you had a little more HP. What was that? Bunny hopping. Okay, there's also another tip here for breach on fracture. If you were to aim in between, like at the floor of like A site, it'll hit both top and bottom of site with the aftershock. I don't know if you already knew that.
So like the floor of the top.
Yeah, the floor of the top, and then it'll hit bottom and top, and that will probably like help you there.
I probably should have reloaded before I did that too, right?
I mean, it wasn't too bad because I think you probably I think if you just corrected for your spray a little bit harder, you would have killed that jet. But I mean, he was also kind of bouncing around. But yeah.
Fade IB. On site.
Oh my, that's so
108 jet.
You guys win this, I think. Yep. Oh wait, this is losable. Just kidding. NT. You kind of want to bait them into it, and with shorty you want to crouch if you can. Just because unless you're close enough, the crouch will reduce the spread a significant amount. You can like even see it in the crosshair size because it's going to be smaller. And it'll make it a lot easier to get the kill. Because you kind of have to... I mean, that was a little unlucky. He did, I mean, kind of jiggled. But if you play closer to the wall, he has to commit farther before he sees you. So, yes, you'll probably die if you miss. But also, like, that's the one chance you have with the shorty.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yep. Do you want me to flash here? Or over here? I vault. Spawn.
Oh, Reyna.
40 fade.
Did you see in the minimap that they were really close?
I knew the fade was there. I didn't realize. I thought he was gonna run back.
Yeah. Okay. I think you could. Yeah, because you hesitated. I think if you had ulted the first time. Oh, he just saw him top. What? Whoa. Okay. We'll wait this round out. That. What is going on? What? All right, we'll take it. We take those. Yeah. If they're that far up, they kind of have to commit because there's no real easy way for them to walk back out. Especially since your Reyna was like what, tower, top rope. There's no way they can really cross out without crossing your sight. I think if you had ulted the first time, you would have been fine. I think when they're that close, yeah, you realize that they're in your zone. The moment you should have just committed to the ult. But I think you weren't like fully prepared for them to be that close. Yeah, I think you just double down on a decision and you just go with it. If you can catch like 1 or 2 people in it, usually if you can catch 1 person in it, usually the ult is like pretty worth it if you can get the kill. If you get like, and because they were so close, you would likely have gotten the kill. There were actually 2 people close. It was the fade and a jet. And I thought because you were ulting, you would probably see that because it's like in the minimap. But yeah, so just be careful there. And also that, yeah, you were a little bit too close. If you stepped like a little bit more back, probably would find. But yeah, otherwise the ult was a good idea. I think you just commit on the first time. Oh. Good aftershock, good sight hit. I think you just use your last flash there to get onto sight.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to, because maybe you want to cheat like not using a flash, because that sometimes happens because you buy full util, right? So if you think about it, every single gunfight you're probably gonna have, you're gonna feel worse off unless you get some sort of like bonus utility. So like they're stunned or flash. But besides that, like even if another person have a classic, they probably have armor, right? But you don't have that, so you're gonna lose an upfront fight unless you get the insta dink or something like that. So you really want to make sure you're using your utility the best, like as much as possible, so that you can even out the fact that you don't have shields. NT. NT. Okay. Your boy rooting you on.
I'm gonna stun this first angle.
Oh shit. They set up a big ass trap. I mean, I don't think there was much you could have done there. Maybe could have flashed, but that's about it. Maybe think about like if you're gonna pit toward A. Remember, I know I haven't been seeing you like really try to fight for sand, but you have flashes, so like maybe take it into your own hands a little bit. And if you guys get up close to the door, flash, and then like push the door, see if you can get a pick on someone there.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, right now, I mean, this is an eco. Just do your best and try to get like a couple free frags. No, the goal of this round is not necessarily to win. Oh, what? Damn, if he had another second, that would have been a headshot right there. Okay, I don't think this is the move. I gotta say. Oh my god, Viper. He's in the backside. One more. Oh. Oh, if he headshot that, I think he wins that. Alright, so your goal this round is to try to get an orb.
Okay.
So yeah, so you're gonna always like you can even plan ahead, right? So for example, at last round you've seen that. Maybe you can like then focus on getting an orb first, and then to make sure that you would have it at the beginning of this round. Or like if you're too off from the future, you could like make sure that on your eco you try to get an orb, and then you know you'll probably die, so that's 2 orbs right there, and then you'll probably be like all set. So like these are things you can kind of like try to plan out, so to make your like rounds come more smoothly. You want to push them off this angles, so you can commit a little bit of you. Oh, you're good. You're good now. There's no one on site. There's no one A. What the fuck? Okay, you want to play in a... Okay, you're actually good. You don't need to ult back. Okay, maybe. They're... Ooh. Nice. Yeah, so basically think of it like this. If you have a 2-man advantage, you're like super likely to win the round, right? So you would play off of the fact that you don't need to do anything special, and you would probably look to save the ult. But once that Reyna died like a idiot running into CT spawn, then I'd be like, okay, now I need to be in a position where I can ult. So yeah, backing out to A main, that's really good. I like how you already had the flash prep at the box. I'm assuming in case the door opened. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I like your thought process there. The only thing I would have been worried about is there was one gap, which is the rope. If they took the rope and then they silently walked, they could have just walked up on you. I don't think that was... Oh, that's super unlucky. Can we get the trade? No, we don't get the trade. Oh my. Okay, we got one. There's Jet here. Maybe Viper as well. All right, sorry, I had to run to the bathroom real quick. I'm back.
I have all. Can ult to either site. I'm probably gonna go under and then just ult across. I'm gonna ult site.
Oh, nice try, nice try. Okay. All right, so we do have enough time for another one if you want to run it back again. Damn, that was a little unlucky though. So in that one, I would have said on the rounds that you don't have guns or that you don't have like full guns, think about playing aggro more. Think about how to cheat out a little bit extra, because you're gonna find that maybe on some of the rounds, like they did have some rounds where they faked, or it wasn't really a fake. It was that they went A, they got picked, and then they didn't feel comfortable going A anymore, so then they rotated back to B, or vice versa. So if you can find yourself like a window of opportunity, you could actually push up into a spot so that when they eventually rotate back, then you'll be like pushed up in their spawn for some reason, or like for an example, or pushed up like somewhere in a place that they don't really expect. Otherwise, it also just in general gives a lot of info. So I think in that case, that one round when you actually tried pushing door with a flash, it was a little unlucky that the Jet was playing so close up. But besides that, I don't think that was the round to do it, because you had breach ult. You really kind of want to save that for a round where you like your value isn't as high, because if you're entering, then the chances of you dying are much more likely, right, if you're the first one in. So if you have something like a high value ultimate, you want to make sure that you're kind of chilling, not in the back, but maybe second or third one, and you just don't want to be the first, because chances are first one doesn't have any ability to survive. In that case, like imagine how you play that a little bit slower. Let's like you flash, but then let your teammate peek it. Your teammate dies, you get the kill, and then you ult onto site. You guys probably win. You see how like it's difference between you dying and then your teammate trading you. Actually, nobody even ended up trading the jet though, but that is something that you want to think about. It might seem like baiting. I guess it kind of is baiting, but it's like I have something that can win the round, and I need to make sure I don't die right away. So it's like not really. So you know, baiting is not necessarily bad. It depends what you're baiting for. And then in terms of that, I also think that you were playing. I think you have a very solid foundation. Now I needed you to mix it up with a little more aggression on the stage. So maybe like instead of just playing in tower, sometimes you want to like jump peek it. And then you had you maybe think of early stunning something so that you can gain like a little bit of control toward an area. So one of the common ones is like either you play towards sand and you early stun A main. You guys hard shut down A main. If you're gonna play on B, maybe you want to start stunning arcade right off the rip, because they lose that. Basically what happens is if you pre-stun arcade as the attacker, they now lose the timing to make sure to check if you crossed toward like the boxes, you know, right under the rope. They lose that ability to check that. So then that means they have to physically check that, whether it be through utility or actually going to check it, meaning that they probably need to play a little bit slower. So just by throwing that early stun, that's exactly kind of what the value that you gain from that is. And plus, like if you hold it too long, it's like you could have probably had another one at that time. Yeah, I think overall you play like it's very safe, but there are times like I feel like the team that you played against this game was like pretty good. So in that case, you need to like do the extra. Sometimes you can win just by playing safe, but other times you're gonna need to take gambles in certain rounds to be able to like edge out the win. And not making mistakes is not always the way to win. You also have to sometimes go out on a limb, you know. Maybe it's like whoever takes more risks, but like if your risks are like you win them like 60%, 70% of the time, then it's probably worth it. And even if they have 3 ults, 4 ults, or whatever odds it might be, if you like edge it out, you'll always have, if you have a good understanding of when the risks are worth it, then you'll be able to win rounds that you technically quote unquote don't deserve. Yeah, okay, yeah, cue it up. Unless you don't want to, that's up to you.
Oh, good. I'm gonna refill my water real quick.
Go ahead.
So I'm probably gonna fill here.
Okay, on icebox. All right.
Could lock in chamber,
It's
like
up
a sage or something, but
it is up to you. Play whatever you want, and I will give you the tips that I think you should use.
I used to like playing Omen here a lot. I just feel like you lose so much value if you don't have Viper.
Yeah, he can work now. I do think that, but you have to play a different way. Like Viper, you're allowed to play defensive. On Omen, I don't think playing defensive is like it's significantly worse, because you don't use like his TPs, which is like a part of his kit. You can't really use his flash because it doesn't really help as much defensively as it does offensively. And then like, well, his smokes are normal, but like his smokes aren't even the best, right? They're not like retake. They're like worse than retake, like Viper's wall. So in the case that you're playing Omen, you would want to play more aggressively. Sage is still a good pick. Yeah, Sage is still a really solid pick on this map. There's nothing wrong with the Sage here. In terms of the last game when you're playing Breach, I think I also want to mention that I'd rather see you like maybe alternate it. So when the Breach had ult, maybe you didn't want to sit on site there. I think that would have been maybe a smarter play, just like playing off site and then letting your, because your util is still very strong to play retake, right? You can aftershock that little post plant, the plant area, you know, in the cubby, and then you can flash through whatever the default box in the middle of site, and you can take it that way. And you also have stuns. It's like very good to retake. So you're not that, I wouldn't even say you're weaker on the retake. You might be actually stronger because you can actually use every single piece of utility without dying. If you're on site, you kind of only get to use like maybe one or two before you have to actually pull out your gun and fight. So you kind of see it like that. And then you also just can dodge the breach ult. Alright, be right back. I'm gonna run to grab a cup of water. Give me like 10 seconds.
Okay. Yo, yo. Two screens, both screens.
Alright, just barely caught that. Let's go.
Hi, Bob. Got the bomb. I'm gonna try to farm for my ult. I'm gonna plant close here.
Oh my god.
One orange. Blank.
How did he get? Oh, did she have an orb for it? Oh no. Oh my god.
Planted in the open.
Oh, it's not in the normal spot. Nice. I got spooky.
Yeah, I thought
The trip. I think she probably smoked it out, I guess, right? I think your chamber is still alive.
he was alive, so yeah.
That's unlucky. I do think that because you guys had like 4 people watching the spike side, I think it's worth just to be careful.
Just to
Although
watch it.
honestly, that's like the least expected thing. Viper still had orb on her. That's crazy. Like normally it's just part of the setup, but I guess not.
I try to usually pay attention to that with like jets and stuff, but
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. I died with the spike. Oh, nice try. Damn. So in that round, I think you should probably have pushed mid or something. You were just looking for a pick. That's all you. Yeah, no matter what. Like I know you were trying to play with your team, but when you guys are down in man advantage, you really want to just like fights are more important. Oh, nice try, nice try. Honestly, this is kind of winnable.
So
So
screens.
I see this Reyna waits this wall out. Yeah, I think it's gonna break soon. Yep. I think Reyna wins this round by doing this. As long as she doesn't whiff. I don't know about this spot, man. Okay, never mind, we're good. What? Okay. Does Viper always has orb? Oh, never mind, never mind. Chamber's dead.
He's got Brim ult.
He's gonna die here. No, you don't need a peek. He's gonna run.
He still had his molly too.
Yeah, I think. Basically, I guess if you were gonna try to do that, you want to make sure that the top corner of the circle, like there's no corners of circles, but the top right of the ult covers like the bomb, and then everything else is like covers closer to yellow and push, so that if they run toward him, they probably die, and they have to run toward the back and back up towards site. That's like a way to think about it. But that would made noise going to the two of you. I thought you jumped by accident.
Yeah, like right before she jumped on that ledge.
Yeah, I was like, I'll click. This man is wrong. It's probably worth to use wall here.
I don't have heal. I have heal in 10, Brim. Okay, Reyna.
Oh no,
I did not mean to do that.
it's okay. You just bait for him. Bait for him. Bait for your teammate. Yeah.
On you.
Could be behind you. Oh shit. Nice. Yeah, I mean, yeah, fucking, I mean, like, you walled them in. I was like, it's okay. It's not the worst play. Sometimes it, like, baits people to think that it's clear. But the next step is that you bait for him. So basically, if anyone were to peek screens there, they would see you first. You start shooting at them. You can even let them pass. But the idea is that the aggro gets drawn onto you. Your Reyna knows somebody is there. And then it'll work out kind of, essentially. It's just a crossfire.
Yeah, he saves the orb to smoke your trap.
Nice. No, not like this, bro. Oh, he's stunned. No, peek him, peek him. No, get him. Oh my god. Viper B player. Fade is going B. Oh my god. I don't know, he's peeking. Okay, snowman and... Oh no. Ooh. Wait, what happened to the Sova? Did Chamber kill him?
I don't know.
Because there was one snowman, right? I remember seeing the shock dart.
Yeah, I thought there was 2 alive still. I didn't even.
Yeah.
I didn't even look up top.
Yeah, I didn't even notice. Oh. Go, ramp it up, ramp up the... Oh, shit. It's close, right? Fuck him up. Yup, keep going, keep going, keep going. While there's no... Oh. He dead? He's dead. You saw him to the right.
Saw him, right?
Alright. This is winnable. Okay, so in this situation, normally, you really, you want to keep staying aggro so they can get a kill and fall back. If you fall back first, then you're going to need to fight them both from the same position. But in this case, alright, there's one flank. This is significantly harder. Does that land?
I don't know.
Did. Yeah, so I think he just wanted to make sure that he was not seeable from yellow area. You should have pushed up like deeper in and take the fight. But besides that, I think you did good. You got the kill on the Sage, but you really needed to just keep going. Like, basically, you want to think about it like the defense is like a still pool of like a pond, for example, right? And the attackers is like like a person, right? So you're swimming through the pond, you're pushing the water aside. So that's essentially the same as you like getting kills. The defense will naturally start flowing back in because once you start pushing water aside, it'll like water flows, right? So then in that case, you want to make sure that you are on site by the time that you take as much space before the defense kind of clears everything and starts pouring back in. So if have you died on generator there, you probably would have been a little bit better because your teammates would have been farther, but you died in maze.
Okay.
Yeah, let me I'll try to explain I feel like you can also just understand in general, but also like you have better guns than them. So when you have that, you just want to make sure that once you guys got 2 kills. There's only one guy there max, like unless they 5 stacked A. So if we're gonna go off of that, then yeah, you had a big window of opportunity there. I think it was the hesitation that got you randomly dinked, and then from then on it kind of got like really scary. Yeah, like in instances like those, you just clear sight and then pull out the wall. I know on gun rounds, you kind of want to put up the wall before you go and like peek stuff, but on eco rounds, it's better to have your gun out for most of it because you have an advantage no matter what. And gun rounds, it's pretty even, so that's why you want the wall up first.
Okay, that makes sense.
And TNT, even half, not bad. We'll take it. Wow. Damn, he
I
hit
left
that.
him.
Here, screens. Screens. Someone watch screens. Oh, they're probably going back B. Nice try.
Up tube.
Oh.
He's in kitchen.
Wait, is winnable. Okay, you don't need a peak chamber. Wait for your boys. What the fuck? No, you got baited. Oh wait, this is winnable. Oh, that's unlucky. Yeah, this Reina is like finding every excuse.
Tamer, can you trip catch in? I'm gonna play B this round. Thank you. What's their eco? They gotta buy. Ping it again. I didn't see what you pinged. Oh, I don't know that wall. Maybe.
Nice. Keep going. Keep going. Get your ace. Yeah, heal too. Yep. I get it. Where's he at? No. Nice round. Nice round.
I love that ratty wall.
Yeah,
like
they don't
like
expect it.
game.
Yeah, they don't expect it.
That Reina flash scared me. I was just hoping she didn't clear it.
Yeah. It was good. It was good.
Do you think it's better to wall off this or here? Like I like here. I saw Grim sometimes walls this off.
Yeah, it's because you kind of can fight them separately. When you wall off the left side, it's gonna get broken like 100%. But if you wall off this side, a lot of times it doesn't get broken. You can use it like to
Okay, that makes
like
sense.
yeah. So sometimes it's like if you it'll like yeah,
Like
just the fact
funnels them more.
yeah, fun like people are more likely to be funneled rather than just nice. Yup, turn up. No, no, no. Go get some fights. Yup. Oh,
94.
nice try. Nice. Good round. Yep. So I don't know if you can kind of like feel it when you're like you're like in the zone or you're feeling it, you know, when you just feel like you're winning your gunfights. Yeah, when you do that, try to ride the momentum a little bit and make sure that like if you're feeling it, you keep going. Obviously there is an extent where you're like, okay, let's chill out, but I feel like after you got the first two kills, you can kind of like ease up, because I don't know if you're the type of person that like lets the pressure get to you where you like start playing scared or stuff like that. But in the case to kind of counteract that, when you've gotten two, it's generally not your fault anymore. So take it as an opportunity to try to like boost your own confidence, because I think that is a under like utilized part of the game that no one really thinks about. If you have high confidence, you'll generally play better.
Oh,
Yeah, you just want to make sure about the pipes. So basically what you want to do when you play against that wall is that you're either holding for pipes or you're holding for the people who are running out the left side. But you can choose which one you want to fight. So you only have to always focus on one area. I think you are staying kind of in the middle for there, like in between both. And that's like if you look at where your body is. So you kind of want to make sure that you're only picking one.
okay.
Yeah, and you alternate rather than fighting both. We save in here? I guess.
That's weird.
Yeah.
You buy me, babe?
Oh, run and gun. Okay, now that you're walling it off, the next step I'm gonna ask you is where do you want to fight? So there you peaked belt. Is that the fight that you wanted to take?
No.
Okay, so there, you can let them come a little bit closer into the zone that you like the fight. So where you like, maybe you just want to take care of the people who are pushing pipes. Then just make sure you're not open to the people who are belt and just holding for the pipes push. Whether that be like crouching under the wall and just waiting for sound cue, or like holding close to the wall so that belt can't see you and only pipes can see you, or something like that. Or maybe even wall yourself up and you push on like onto pipes or something like that. Those are like all good alternatives you can do. You are obviously like, it's not just that who can you see, it's also who do you want to fight. Those are all big deals. Oh wait, what? They're both behind? Oh nice try, nice try.
I wall it like here or here, or does it not matter?
I think if you wall on that, it might create a gap under the wall.
Okay.
So yeah, if you wall like, yeah, probably something like that.
Oh wait, I didn't do it.
You probably wanna, yeah, tuck in, like all the way, yeah, right there, like hard, yep, in the corner, and you just look pipes. I would not tuck that hard, yeah, probably something like that. You don't really need to worry about them wrapping to your left because chances are, yeah, your teammates will kill them. It's like a really awkward pathing angle for them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was like well done. So like you didn't like show yourself to the belt angle. You got a pretty free kill on the Sage. Yeah, but if you, for the pathing thing I was talking about, it's like you have to imagine if you were the attacker. So the only way that you would have to be worried about that is that if they wrap Jenny, then came through this sort of middle area that you're standing at, and then look toward you behind the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, like would you ever do that? Like maybe, but like maybe that's not something that you need to be like fully focused on, and you'll probably hear it by then. Like they'll probably be running. I doubt they walk all that way.
I didn't put that far out enough.
It's okay. It's okay. Maybe we can use this to your own advantage. Like maybe you just peek at a random timing and see if you catch someone belt who doesn't expect you on it. Oh, they're up A. On top 410 or Neff.
410.
You have reds here too. Nice try, damn. That's such an awkward spot. It's winnable. Is he even there?
I think they were calming. He's there.
He's swinging. Oh, that's such a nice try. Nice try. That was a nice try on your part too.
I think one might be on A. Yeah, they're on A. Multiple. They're going A.
Kitchen.
That's the Reina.
Hmm.
Ooh. I'm gonna go B again.
Oh.
They have so vault.
Nice try. Okay, so I guess some things that, in general, I think you started picking it up toward the latter half of the game, and but you had a pretty slow start on the attack. And I think that was probably one of the issues. So I guess at a certain point, when you think about it, space and kills mean a lot more than agent abilities. So for Sage, once you get that wall down, generally you're gonna start seeing your like utility, like your need to survive, I guess, start teetering toward like you don't need to as much, and you are looking for value now. So for example, Sage, before she drops a wall on B or A site to get the plant down, you're very important. But once you've gotten that down, like what are we really, like, what are you staying alive for? Maybe you have res, okay, that's another thing. But if we're gonna assume that you don't have your ult, then it's like, oh, you have slows and then you have a heal. So but like, would you trade slows and heals for 2 kills? You probably would, right? You see how like now you don't like your mindset needs to shift mid round once you've gotten your objective down. Like smokes are the same way. Once you've gotten your smokes out, you're now no longer thinking in the term I need to survive. Instead, you're just like every other player. If you have a position or you have an opportunity or you need to take a fight, you're welcome to take a fight without needing to worry as much. So kind of take that pressure off your shoulders at certain points in the game. So like duelists have a one-track mind where they're pretty much at every point of the round, they're okay to take fights. And that's just because their utility never really has any impact except for the fact that it's, you know, self-centered. So like I use a jet, I'm just gonna get my kill, and then all my utility is not really used for my teammates, so I don't need to worry about staying alive. The whole purpose of my agent is to get the kill. So if I can focus, but for like every other agent, pretty much you have varying degrees of how important you are to stay alive. I would say duelist is the least important. Then goes initiators, sentinels, and then controllers are like the most important, and you gotta wait like until like last minute before you can really think about dying. So in that case, I think as this on the attack side, you really want to think about getting aggro, getting that wall down, and closing the space. So for your example there, I know you try to make the jump a lot onto pipes and you sometimes miss it. Don't worry, that happens to me a lot too. But using that rope to get onto top 410, especially with the rifle, you have a huge power position and you just get onto site so fast. You clear close maze really quickly. You can just check onto site, you make sure no one's pushing, and then you throw up that wall, the default wall that goes like right next to the rope that cuts off like anyone pushing from back site. Yeah, so that's like your goal. So my route is usually someone scales in front of me, so go pushing onto A site. I jump onto the little fridge thing onto pipes. Then I take the zip across, and I've already pre-adjusted my wall. So I'll pre-adjust my wall depending on the site we hit. So for like B site, I'd have a horizontal wall, so that's pretty easy, right? But for A site, you need a vertical wall. Right? Because if you think about the places that your normal wall like screens, that wall, it's vertical. And then you think about the other one by the rope, that's also vertical. So based on it, if you do that pregame, you don't have to worry about it mid-game. So like I'll do it like before the round even starts by the barrier, I'll just swap it to a vertical. That way when you get there, you just press C and or whatever ability you have for a wall, and it'll automatically already be in that vertical position. I did see you kind of adjust it for the B site sometimes. But I think that was like later on to the round. So I wish you did that for the A site. It'll also make it easier. That way, like literally when you're like zipping across to like top 410, you can, when you jump midair, you can literally just pull out your wall and just throw it up as you're midair, and you land like at the bottom of the rope. And it's like a super fluid like motion of getting from of just hitting A while your team is scaling. Okay. Yeah, so like if you get that routine down, you'll feel a lot better. All right, so the attack side, and then we kind of went over it. When you're man down or like 2 men down, stop thinking of objective based. Start thinking toward kills. When you are 2 man down, like let's say it's a 3v5 or let's say 3v4, even if you were to, let's say your entire team gets onto B site or A site, if you're still playing a 3v4, you guys are probably still going to lose. And that's because, well, the moment you plant, you guys are going to be down a man. So it's going to be like a 2v4, right? And that's like hoping for the best, right? That's hoping that no one was just camping a corner and someone just gets traded out like mid on the way to the site. So realistically, what you want to do there is go look for the fights where you know they are. Because otherwise, if you play it too slow, basically what ends up happening is you now have to re-go and clear stuff to find people. And half of the fight is knowing where they are. Once you know where they are, the fight gets significantly easier because you just need to hit the shot. And you don't have to like, oh, I didn't check this corner at the right time, or I got timing. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong when you don't know where they are. So in that round, it was a 3v4. You were Sage, and then you like went back to check spawn. I don't know if you remember this on the attack side. You went back to check spawn. Your other teammates were, yeah. So there, because you knew, so it's a 3v4. So basically when you think about it, when one person dies, there is a gap somewhere. Somewhere on the map, there is usually some sort of gap where it becomes hard for them to fill. And you can also make this assumption based on which side of the map is, you've been hitting. So you guys had more pressure A site. I would guess, if I were to say there are 4 players, there's probably 1 B, there's probably 1 mid, and there's probably 2 on A. That's from my instinct, because we're gonna say what's the default like formation. You always think default and then you think how it shifts. So default is usually like 1B, one like maybe like toward kitchen area / like also helping B, 1 toward boiler, and then 2 on A. That's usually like a very default thing to do, right? That's probably what you run. Yeah, okay. So then you think about it. If you picked 1 on B, how does that shift? If you are still making noise A, then chances are it doesn't shift that hard. It just like, okay, that guy who is kitchen now rotates to hold B, and then that guy who's mid still watches mid, make sure that like no one, because if you guys didn't have the smoke mid, then they could just watch mid from boiler, and then there's still probably 2A because you guys are still making noise A. So then in that case, you like look at where do I want to get the pick? I can go to B and get the pick, right? Or I can go try to pick this mid guy, which is what's closer to you. And I think he just killed someone at that time. So like, if you think about it in that way, you're gonna like go seek where you want. A is probably not the best option, because basically what happens is if the fight doesn't go well, there's 2 players there. So even if you kill 1, you can't just take the site. You have to find the second. And that mid rotate is super fast. This boiler to A site is really close. So in that case, you can, if you kill the mid guy, then it becomes really easy. The 2 people on A are now like sandwiched. They lost mid control. Now like this is like big round thinking. Now the 2 people on A, they have to focus on the people coming from A main, and then they also have to focus about that they just lost mid. So then in that case, you've separated the B player from the A players, and the B player also has to worry now because they don't have mid control. So now it's like, okay, the map opens up entirely, and from that 1 pick on mid, you split the sites, and now whatever site you hit, it's a 3v2 or a 3v1 depending if you go A or B. So then you're gonna see how it becomes much stronger. So like think of yourself as like a wedge, and where the fights that you're taking, yes, it's like easy to say, oh well, if you knew you're gonna win the fight, well then you would take it. But if you think about it, it's like, oh, if I knew that this 1 kill, if you fight this mid guy, if you win, you guys are very likely to win the round. You'd probably be more willing to like take the fight, right? Because if you knew if there's a high chance of it, you take whatever. Like if there was a percentage, like you could see imaginary percentages on every play you did, then you would, you'd feel comfortable doing that. So try to picture that. Whenever you make a play, you think of the percentage chance of its success and how much like it's worth. If it's like, oh, you kill an A player, well, it doesn't really change much, right? If you think about it, kill an A player, there's still another A player, and there's a mid player that's going to rotate. So does it change much? No. But if you kill the mid player, now it opens up both sides, and you see how like each player has different values of you trying to kill them.
Right, exactly. So like if you kill, let's say you kill him on like boiler there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think from there, like, you scale up towards screens, or do you go under tube, in tube?
I don't think you need to actually do anything that fast. Unless your teammates are already starting to push toward A, then in that case, I would just start scaling up towards screens. But in the case that, like, you were the first one aggressing, you kill that mid player, and your teammates are still chilling by, like, your side of nest, then it's like, oh, they haven't committed. You guys don't need to commit. Now you guys can regroup and decide to hit a site together. You guys can let the rotate, like it's not like there's no pressure in you needing to do that unless the hit is already going out. Like if they're already running up toward A, okay, you kill the mid player, yeah, I'm gonna keep going, so that whoever is stuck on site now has to worry about me pushing up to screens and also my team pushing onto A, and it's like a big pinch. But in the case that you guys have you guys aren't committed anywhere, you kill the mid player, it's up to them to try to fix their gap, right? So they have to either send 1 player from A to mid, which in that case you have an easy time hitting A, or you guys can rotate back to B. That's also a very like pretty solid strat, because there's only, there's probably 1 player there. Or like either way, you can like decide what you really want to do. You don't have to rush it, and you can play off of some sort of more information. Maybe you guys like you wait a little bit, now you have a Silva Dart up, now it makes everything easier. You could just like chill. Once you've gotten to a point where it's like everything has settled, now you can like decide the best course of action. But like while it's like sometimes you have to embrace the chaos. So if you're down a player, you embrace the fact that like it's now my time to shine. I'm gonna go frag out. I'm gonna go find a kill, even it out. Let's equalize, and then we can decide where we want to go after. Okay, so on that last round on the icebox where you had a Spectre and you peeked a default plant, you remember that?
Yep.
Yeah. So when you have guns like Spectre, you want to make sure you're playing a more committed position. Now, what I mean by that is like if you had a Vandal or even a Phantom, that one's okay. It's not the best because in general, it's like just they're looking exactly where you probably are just because they're planting there. But besides that, your time to kill on a Spectre is too slow. Because even if you get the dink, you have to hit like another dink or something like that. You have to hit 2 headshots, maybe even 3 to kill this guy. That's assuming you don't miss.
Right.
So had you played like yellow or something, because you're committed, you're fine. But because of that, like you can't like just it looked like you were trying to like shoot and then peek away, like run away, like strafe right, shoot and then like run back left. But there's no way you could do that fast enough with the Spectre. Maybe even if you had like a Sheriff, you could just tap and then run away because it's like 1 bullet. But with the Spectre, you have to spray. So you really want to start making like picking like maybe if you picked yellow, right, and then you like maybe just held an off angle on the right side, or you hold the off angle on the left side. You find it that it's a lot easier because you can commit to a spray there. You can't commit to a spray in that position that you did because you'll 100% die after. Maybe best case scenario you get 1, worst case scenario you get 0. So if in the case that you are playing, you want to make it so that worst case scenario you get 1, best case scenario you get multi. So like that, those are the better positions. Obviously, sometimes you don't get the luxury of doing that, but those are the best positions. Worst case scenario, you are able to isolate 1, and you have a fair if not better fight, like a 60%, like holding an off angle on yellow. Yeah, they could kill you, but like you have a pretty solid chance of just killing him first. If he's not paying attention, you win. But like there, it's like even if they're not paying attention, you probably still die. So that one's like on the lower echelon. Sometimes you do have to take those fights, but in the case that you were able to set that up, yeah, you didn't really. Yeah. Let me see. On the defense side, you started coming alive, so I don't think I need to really say anything. The wall, it seems like you're starting to get used to it a little bit toward the second end of it. Like I know the first 2 fights were kind of unlucky and you just kind of died, but the second one where you got, I think it was a 2K one on the stage that was pushing pipes, and then you went back to B and you got a kill down at the planter or something like that. Yeah, those were good. Remember, it's not just like what you can see; it's like where you want to fight. Pick your fights. You don't have to take every single fight. You don't have to stop them in their spawn. You can stop them when they're coming closer, whatever is better for you.
Okay.
Yeah, and then after that, I think you maybe just want to practice a little bit more in your bursts. I was seeing you missing a few bursts. My training regimen is usually I just like hopping to the shooting range and then just kind of bursting on like go on like easy bots, and you're basically, you want to make sure you're pulling down for every burst. Like even if it's like a 4 bullet burst, you want to make sure like technically the first 2 you don't really need to pull down, but you want to make sure that you're getting into the habit of like pre-expecting you need to continue spraying. So a lot of people 2-tap bursts, right? 1 2 1 2 1 2, but basically you don't know if you generally shoot before you like react or think about it, right? You don't know if you're going to kill them, but if you've already committed to pulling down even within the first 4 bullets, then if you like after the first 4 you realize that like I didn't headshot this guy, right, or I didn't kill this guy, then you can continue into a spray, and you just keep obviously continue pulling down. But what I see a lot of people, what happens is that they just are just like mindlessly like 2-tap bursting or like 3-tap bursting, that they have to wait because or their recoil gets fucked up because they weren't expecting that the guy wouldn't die. So then they're not ready to transition from a burst initially into a spray. And that means that they have to let their recoil reset so that they know how to pull. So if you like, because most people only know how to control the spray from the beginning. If I were to tell you, hey, control your spray from the 5th bullet into the spray, would you know how to do that?
No.
But if I were to say from the beginning, you would probably know how to do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like you see how that works. So then in that case, if you always mentally have like committed to pulling down a little bit for the spray, then you've already started from the beginning and you can just continue rather than like realizing halfway it's like, oh shit, I need a spray, I hit 3 bullets on him, he's 1 hit, right? And you can just continue. So if possible, do that. Try training range, just always burst and pull down a little bit just to correct for it, even though it doesn't really like change that much within the, if you headshot them, if you don't headshot them, it changes a lot. Yeah, I think that's everything I have for you. I have notes. I have this entire session recorded in case you want it. But yeah, if you have any questions, I'll answer them.
Yeah, definitely. If I could get a recording, that'd be awesome.
Yep, I can upload it onto YouTube. It probably have to be by tonight if that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
All right.
I notice on Fracture, when I play with a Cypher, I usually do very bad. So I'm wondering if I should just switch to like A, because I like B a lot. But I notice like Cyphers mostly play on cams on Fracture. They don't really like hold anything. They kind of sit and spawn and like just play off the util, which isn't bad. So I'm wondering, should I just play A there? Because usually I have a good amount of success. If someone's holding arcade and I don't have to like worry about being flanked, I feel like I usually have a good amount of success there, like stunning and then like peeking and getting a frag, and then like I can fall back or delay them further or whatever it may be.
That was on. You're saying on A or on B?
On B, on Fracture.
Okay. Maybe you want to change your playstyle to best utilize Cypher's trips. So, for example, if you play Tower, Cypher was tripping arcade every round, right?
Yeah, arcade.
So yeah, set up for a flash. Just always have the flash out. The trip sets off, or it gets broken, you immediately flash and swing. So like maybe utilize it a little bit more. I will say Breach is normally played toward the A side, toward the sand area, because you shut down any early A pushes, as well as being able to flash through that wall for anyone that's like trying to play aggro A, and you can kind of generally just be a really a nuisance, because it's hard for them to clear you. Like even if they push through the door, right? You just sidestep behind cover, you flash through the wall, and then you re-swing to clear sand, and you just get the kill like that. So that's why Breach is so strong. That stun always like gets a lot of value in that A main choke, around the elbow, where they like initially peak. So it's like really good. On B is also, but Breach in general is really good, right? So I think if Cypher's baiting, well, not really baiting, if Cypher's playing defensively, you want to make sure like, and you're playing on site, then you have to realize if you're just using Cypher's trip for intel, then you might as well have just played on A, right? Because otherwise, Cypher's trips are going to tell you they're there before you're peeking them. So in the case that there are Cypher trips, make sure you're playing aggro, so that not only does it tell you that there, it gives you a chance to kill somebody. Otherwise, you might as well play retake.
Yeah, I didn't know if maybe I should play like just off site, like in spawn or tower instead when I'm playing with a Cypher there. Or, I have noticed that like the two things that'll mess me up on that map is like if I'm playing with a Cypher, or if like Smokes plays the same site as me, and then sometimes they smoke off like when I flash and peek. But then usually I can just calm them like, hey, wait to smoke this because I'm gonna try to stun him and then peek. Or
yeah, I will say B site is pretty hard, especially against a full site hit, because you're gonna find yourself isolated a lot because of the Viper wall or something like that. So if you play on site, you're gonna need to realize like, try to guarantee you get one, right? Because otherwise it's like it sucks. And maybe not always think about how do I stop the entire push. So let's say it's a split on it's B, right? Is that the site we're talking about?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's a split onto B, and they're coming up arcade and they're coming up B main. Normally, if we were to say which side has more players coming toward it? Main. Okay. If you shut down the arcade side, it's way easier to do that than it is to focus on shutting down the main push. But if you think about it, if you were to shut down, let's say get 2 kills toward arcade, so let's say it's a 3-2 push, you'd find that just getting the 2 kills on arcade wins you the round. And that's easier. Rather than trying to fight the entire force head on, you can just fight the people that are like the secondary side, and you kind of, the idea is that don't bite off more than you can chew. So in that case, maybe the play is you're playing in tower, you hear them coming up, running up B main, but you also hear them arcade. Instead of trying to force your way back onto site through B main, you just focus on trying to kill these people arcade. So maybe you just hold for the rope. As they're running onto site, the arcade guy comes up the rope. You get that free kill, right? Because he doesn't expect you, or maybe he does expect you, but you just win that fight anyway, because it's hard to win a fight coming up a rope. And then after that, right after that, you immediately commit to flashing tower, and then you just peek it and you kill the second guy. And all of a sudden, now you survived, and now it's a 5-on-3. You see how that just instantly, like, you don't need to worry about the main push. I think everyone always focuses on how do I stop the entire rush. Fuck that. Don't worry about that. You got a team for a reason. Focus on stopping as much as you can. So if you can get 2, usually you've done more than enough. 2 and get out, like that's a huge momentum swing. That's a +2 and -0. So it's a +2 overall. You get 2 and you get traded. That's a +2 -1. So that's only a +1 advantage in terms of manpower. So think about it. That's why surviving is such a big thing. If you survive, that's essentially the same as you killing one and trading, if you think about it like that. Yeah. So in the case, like, yeah, maybe sometimes it's like finding timings. Remember, if they're pushing up B main, you have ears. If you can calm down, and sometimes it's like you get nervous, but if you can calm down, you can hear how far they are into sight. So if they're just coming up the stairs, okay, you got a few extra seconds. You could just sit there and wait for this rope player. But if they're running up the stairs to clear tower, then you might need to push the guy rope instead of just sitting there anymore. You know what I mean? If you're like at the elbow area, because you don't want to get pinched. So essentially, if you're going to get pinched, normally it's better just to push one way. So that way you only have to fight the people that you're swinging into, rather than you needing to fight like, oh, left and right. You just push the one direction that you, and kind of like pave your way out, rather than getting sandwiched on two sides. If you can kind of picture what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Yeah, so timing matters. I think you generally played that really well. Maybe you start scooching that one toward A more. If you start being unable to hold it. Cypher did have a pretty good setup. Yeah, maybe you didn't need to, since your utility is almost as good, if not sometimes better on retake than it is on defending the site. You can also likewise bite off more. You only bite off as much as you can chew. Maybe you fight arcade aggressively. Fighting B main aggressively is kind of hard, especially as breach. Maybe if you're Jet in an op or something, or chamber in op, it's better. But maybe like you fight arcade, you stun that early, you push up to the box, you flash to the box, you get the pick, or you play off the trip or something like that. Those are all good ways. Okay, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Do you have any other questions?
No other questions at this point. Thank you, though.
All right, yeah, I'll send you the entire recording. I know I gave you a lot of information, but think of it as like, this is global information that you'll use until Radiant. So it's not like I'm giving you rank specific. I can give you rank specific, but you did have like a lot of rounds you popped off. If I were to say rank specific, sway toward the aggressive side. Ranked in general favors those who are aggressive. So if you can, try to break out of your shell. For me, I'm more of a passive player. I always have to have a reason to be aggressive. So if you can find as many reasons, then that's good. Like, confidence is good. Cockiness, obviously there's a fine line, but I don't see you as the person that like will just ego peek for no reason. But you kind of have to, at a certain point, believe that you are winning the gunfight, and that you will, because if you do that, then it's like you literally can't be stopped. If you always believe that you're going to win the gunfight, then every round is capable of you winning, and it's never like you're playing on the back foot.
And I'll play pretty aggressive on like bind to the Yoru. I think I need and I don't know if you'd agree with like what you were saying before. I think I need to realize like, okay, I've got my main utility down. Now like I can start being aggressive and taking fights.
Yep.
Rather than like, oh, I'm this agent, I need to stay alive.
Yeah. Yep, yep, exactly. So because you play so many agents, you have to realize that each agent will have a different playstyle. Each class will have a different playstyle. Like obviously classes will generalize stuff, but like for example, as Omen, I'm more likely to run in first than I am as like Viper, because Viper gotta stay alive longer for a gas and stuff like that. So even within each category, there are agents that play differently. So think about where your usefulness lies, and then after that, mentally relieve yourself of the pressure of needing to stay alive and start thinking of like how you can be, I guess, like the playmaker, because I think every good player is capable of being a playmaker. There's no one in Immortal/Radiant that is not a playmaking player at some point, because they had to make plays to succeed above the people who are, you know, below that rank. So it's only when you stop believing yourself as being the playmaker, that's when you stop improving, because you've essentially said that this rank is I'm going to be this rank. I'm working around this rank. But the moment you start thinking I am able to make these plays, then you can succeed. You can, you know, you're better than you're capable of being better than everyone else. Okay, all right. Let me see if I have. Yeah, I'll send you the notes by tonight. I actually have to head off to work, but you know, thank you for being my first coaching session.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, if you keep me updated with your rank grind. I know it was a little unlucky that you're Diamond 1, but I'm sure you'll get it back soon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Rank doesn't matter.
Okay.
Like,
that's
in
fair.
The short term.
Yeah, long term is improvement is always the thing to look at.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it a lot. Thank you.
All right, no problem, man. I hope to see you again. And yeah, definitely keep me updated. You definitely like I like your thought process. I think confidence is gonna push you a lot further. So start like having confidence, but then also like obviously, digest it. Make sure that you're not like kind of just like you admit when you're wrong, not when you like had to take a fight, even if it was a risky one. If that would have won the round, that's the right play. If I had a chance to win the round, but it's like, or the only chance sometimes, it's like aggression isn't always bad. Yeah. All right. Good luck in your games, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Laters.
Mm.